don't worry, I'm gonna do it back.
Okay.
Hey, can I call you back?
Okay, sure.
Bye.
Bye. What's up, chat? So I'm gonna be working on my Flappy Bird game. Let me just showcase it to you guys real quick. So I've added the death screen following this guy's tutorial. So if you don't know, I've been learning how to code using a tutorial made by a guy. It's a really long tutorial, and I'm starting to learn the basics of scripting in Unity with C#. But look, as you can see, we have a score thing here. We have the pipes. I'm gonna try to avoid them and then see how far I can get. Okay, I got 1. See, as you can see, the score system works. Also, there's a game over screen when you hit the pipes, and then you can retry, which also works. But when you just fall down, nothing happens. I'm gonna see if the guy adds that in the tutorial. If he doesn't, then too sad. But also, the thing is, like, when you hit the pipes and then the game over screen comes, it just comes and you can still play. So next I'm gonna make it all stop. And that's what the guy in the tutorial said. But since I'm clearly too good at this game, I'm just gonna die and show you guys what happens. See? Game over. And then retry. Which you can press and then retries. But like I said, as you can see, you can just still keep going as much as you want. So we're gonna be fixing that. And there's also physics. See? Bump in the pipes. So retry. Works. So now let's fix that.
Back in Unity, it kind of works, but we can still play in the game over screen. Not ideal. So, I've talked about a few key variable types already. Floats and ints are numbers, and string is usually for text. The other important one is a bool, short for boolean. This is a really simple type that is either true or false, on or off, yes or no. It's a great way to simply check or change something's state. So let's have a bool called bird
So in our bird script here,
is alive, and make sure it starts as true. Then when the collision
okay. So you gotta do public bool bird is alive. Oh yeah, public bird is alive, and then equals true, and then full stop.
happens, we'll set bird is alive to false.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Bird is alive equals false.
And finally, we'll add an extra condition to our very first if statement. We're going to say, if the spacebar has just been pressed, and, written with 2 ampersands, and bird is alive is equal to
And then, and, I don't know where the and sign is on this keyboard. Oh, here. And bird is alive equals true.
true. Actually, we don't need to add this equals true thing. It does the exact same thing without it, but again, it's up to you. Maybe it's easier to read this with the full code written out. Anyway, now the bird won't flap if it's dead, which seems quite logical to me. The final thing to do is to build the game, which is really easy. Pick file.
Yo, the game is done. I just made Flappy Bird. Maybe not. We gotta fix this. Now what happened?
Read this with the full code written out.
Okay, bro, what's wrong? What's wrong this time? Yup, it's supposed to work. It's supposed to work. It's supposed to work. I don't know why it doesn't work. So it's a bit cuckoo. Bro, what? Why does it not work though? That just makes no sense. Dude, input dot get down dot space. Okay, I'm just gonna do what the guy did. And bird is alive. Bro. My boy. I don't get it. Oh, that's right. Done. Alright. Alright, chat, the game is done. Now I'm gonna do the final test. Final test of the game. Because the game is literally done now. I'm gonna try to get the highest score ever. But also, this game is a bit too easy, one would say. I'm gonna spice things up. There we go. Okay, now that we've spiced things up a bit, let's test. Okay, I'm gonna try to get the high score. Alright, 3 is good. Works like a charm. Okay, perfect. Oh snap. Alright, we're good. I'm just too good at this game, bro. I'm too good. Yes, perfect. Okay, we got 8. When I publish this game, I want to see if anyone can actually beat my high score. Alright. 10. Let's say. And when I press space, nothing happens, as you can see. Very good. This game's fire, bro. I should publish this on Steam for 1 billion. But yeah, my high score is 10 when I do publish this on itch.io. I want to see if anyone can beat my score.
Out. Anyway, now the bird won't flap if it's dead, which seems quite logical to me. The final thing to do is to build the game, which is really easy. Pick File, Build Settings, and Build. Pick a folder on your hard drive and let Unity do its work. Then you can open this file to play your game.
Sheesh.
Amazing. In a very short period of time, we have made a pretty functional game. And what's more, we've learned loads of fundamental lessons about Unity. We have made a character that moves in response to our input. We have spawned in new objects on a timer. We have created a UI that shows a score and made that score tick up when conditions are met. And we've got the ability to get a game over and start again. Now, I should note that there are different and perhaps better ways to do pretty much everything in this tutorial. For example, I used Unity's old way of checking for inputs, and the company has since developed a much better input system. But it's a lot more complicated to use, so this simple method is great for now, and you can look into the new input system later down the line when you feel more confident. That's how it went for me. There's also Text Mesh Pro, which has replaced the old legacy UI system, so you'll want to graduate to that at some point as well. Anyway, these are lessons that will be useful when making all sorts of games. But the game isn't quite finished yet. There's still a few more things to figure out, though I don't want to tell you how to do everything. So I'm going to give you some suggestions for how to finish up the game, but I want you to try and figure it out for yourself. So first of all, we need to have a game over if the bird goes off the screen. That shouldn't be too hard. There's also a bug where the score can go up even after a game over. Try to solve that one too. We also want sound effects. I want you to add an audio source component to the Logic Manager, fill it with a sound effect file, reference it on the script, and have it play when the score goes up. Then I want you to play around with the particle system to make clouds appear in the game. Next, open the animation window and add some flapping wings to the bird. Then I want you to add another scene to make a title screen.
How do you do that?
The game doesn't immediately launch into the action. Here's a clue. You'll need to add this new scene to the build settings window. And finally, if you want a real challenge, use player prefs to save the player's high score to the hard drive and draw that on the UI as well.
Bro,
For each one of these, you may wish to Google the relevant terms, read the Unity docs, watch some quick tutorial videos, or ask for help in the comments down below. Next, you could expand on Flappy Bird, get creative and add in ideas and designs that weren't there in the original iPhone game. For example, with a little messing around, I gave the bird the ability to shoot out a missile, and then I added targets to the
Whoa, what
pipes.
the hell?
You've now got to
I didn't
hit
do
the
that.
target with a missile to open a gap you can flap through. It's pretty cool and adds a lot more depth to the simple game.
Damn.
In fact, I'd love to see how you might expand on the original game. If you make something interesting, record a bit of footage, pop it on YouTube, and drop a link in the comments. I might feature some of them in the future. And then I'd recommend you take another simple game and try to remake it in Unity like we just did right now. This is a great technique because you don't have to worry about art or design, just the code. And the problem-solving
That's the
puzzles you'll
hard
face
part.
are a perfect example of what real game development will be like. Good candidates for this include Pong, Space Invaders, Breakout, Pop the Lock, Angry Birds, various WarioWare minigames, and that dinosaur game that plays in Chrome if your internet's broken. So in this video, I wanted to teach you the fundamental concepts behind Unity, but the rest is up to you. Luckily, I reckon this sort of hands-on, self-directed, learn from your mistakes style of learning is the most fun and effective way to make stuff stick. But we'll see. Let me know how you got on in the comments down below. And if you want to watch my game development story, which is still ongoing, promise, then click here for episode 1 of Developing.
Okay, he doesn't have that much tutorial, so unsubscribe. But yeah, since I don't know how to do all that, maybe I can add music actually. Yeah, I'm gonna add music. Gonna add some music here. Let's see what music we have. Oh yeah, this is good music that I made. Some very good music actually. So let me just add a audio source. Yeah, perfect. That's hard. Come on. Okay, 15. That's good enough for me. Now let's build this game and publish it on itch.io for you guys to play. Hey, what's up, PPAI or Al? I'm not sure. Oh, you mean tab. Oh, yeah. So, build. Let's save this on desktop. Flappy. No. Swingy. What's another word for bird? Swingy pigeon. Swingy pigeon, perfect. Alright guys, I'm building Swingy pigeon right now. And I'm gonna publish on my itch.io page. But please let me know if you do want updates for this game. Me personally, I don't really think I'll be updating the game that much. But if we get one play, literally one play besides me, I'm updating the game. Just make sure to comment on the itch.io page that you played. So I know. Because I think it would be fun to update this game, like the guy said. Maybe add a main menu, settings tab, credits tab, with tutorials, maybe a particle system, all those cool stuff. But yeah. Perfect, we have the game right there. Now, wait a sec, let me just exit out of Unity right there, man. Get out of there, get out of here, get out of here. Yes. Flappy Bird, what? This game is not called Flappy Bird, actually, it's Swingy Pigeon. Swingy Pigeon. There we go. Now let me go to itch.io. Yeah, here it is. Go to mine. Please don't look at my previous games. Yeah. No, bro, I already. Oh my. Bro, oh my. There we go. Swingy Pigeon. Yeah. Alright guys, download Swingy Pigeon today on itch.io. Let me just search it up, see if it pops up. Swingy Pigeon. But yeah, make sure to download Swingy Pigeon today. Download Swingy Pigeon today. Now, I'm
Hey, hi,
making
my name's Mark. Last year, I released Mind Over Magnet on Steam. After years of wanting to make and release my very own video game,
my name's Mark.
I
One
finally
year ago.
did it.
Hi,
But
my name's
I'll admit, I made a few mistakes along the way, and my biggest screw-up was not having a firm understanding of the indie game production pipeline.
So a question we get asked a lot is how to make a 2D game. Of course, so when it comes time to something you always need when making a 2D game is of course a good camera. And trust me, if there's anything that's caused me a lot of pain when it comes to shooting in Unity, there's really two ways. There. Next we can go to our bullet and create a new script. Something you always need when making. So when it comes time to start. So a question we get asked a lot is how to make a 2D game. Of course, this is a huge question to answer, but hopefully this video should help point you in the right direction. And this is actually filmed on our brand new video camera, so I hope the quality is alright. Apparently this camera has a pretty narrow lens, so we had to do this crazy setup to make it work.
Let's make Flappy Bird in 1 minute, and we start by adding some sprite for the background, the floor, and believe it or not, the bird. Now, if we change the sprite of the bird over time, we can create this cool animation. But wait, because the little bird does not fall, so we can add some collider and a ridge body to the bird. And now it falls like a rock. So, time to let our bird learn to fly. In this script, every frame of the game, I'm going to check if the player click on the screen. If it does, I'm going to make the bird jump a little bit. So, now our bird can fly, but wait, what are we missing? The pipe. So, let's add this sprite, duplicate it, and make the two pipes move to the left every frame of the game. Now, we just have to spawn these pipes at a random height. And with this trick, it will look like the bird is moving. But right now, there is just a small
I'm gonna teach you how to make your own games. After this video you will be a pro. The number one lesson is, your game idea probably sucks. The faster you let go of the GTA 6 in your mind, the faster you will learn. This will probably sound really harsh, but no matter how good you think your game idea is, it's probably bad. And listen, I'm not trashing on you, I'm just telling you how it is. I'm not gonna serve you bullshit. Lesson number 2 is, you cannot escape programming. Games are literally computer programs. You can use visual programming languages, but you cannot escape programming itself. And for me, programming is the best part anyway, so why would you run from it? Lesson number 3 is always go in with a plan. Never make the mistake of opening a game engine and trying to learn it without a goal. You're just going to be overwhelmed by the amount of options and information that you need to take in. The first
Now, I'm going to try to use this template and try to make my own kind of thing, you know. Mr. Chip.
Unity for beginners. Part 1. Download Unity. Create a project. Pick 3D. You might be thinking, what is this? What is that? That's okay. Just follow along. In your brain, we'll figure it out. Maybe. Create a game object. Create 3D sphere. Now we have a sphere. Game object. What's a game object? It's a Unity thing. That means an object in the game that you can attach components to. What are components? Things you attach to game objects to make them do stuff. Here's a component, transform. It makes the game object exist in 3D space. Pretty useful. So when do I have to code? When you want custom components to make game objects do custom things. Good. So we have a sphere. What do we want it to do? How about have physics? That's easy. Add a component to the sphere called rigid body. Press play. Now it falls. Physics. Let's stop the falling. Stop the game. Add a ground. Create game object. Plane. Uh-oh. The sphere is in the ground. Let's move it up. Select the sphere. Press W. Move it up. Press play. Now it falls and hits the ground. Wow. Physics. And in part 2, we'll make the sphere interactive. Unity for beginners. Part 1. How to find the best free open source text-to-speech. Look up TTS Arena. Click this one. Here you can generate audio and vote on which sounds better. Then it ranks them using Elo score. To view the results, click on leaderboard. All of these should be open source, so just look up one of them and find its space. Use it to generate your text.
But was this video text-to-speech?
How to find the best free open source text-to-speech. Look Unity. Part 9. Vertical platforming. Press 2D. Select your platform. Duplicate it. Put it somewhere. How about here? Do it again and again. Press play. Wow. Game. But we want vertical game. Click this drop down. Click this plus. 9:19. Aspect ratio 9:19. Now what? Walls. Duplicate your platform again. Rotate it. Move it. Stretch it out. Then remove its mesh renderer and mesh filter. Duplicate it again. Put it on the other side. Confinement. Speaking of confinement, I want to have an event. A mini game jam. Beginner friendly. So join Discord to not miss it. Okay. Now we have a problem. We get stuck on the wall. So create a physics material. Right click. Create physics material. Set dynamic friction and static friction to 0. Then drag and drop it onto all the platforms and player. Now we don't get stuck. Good job. In part 10, locked camera axis. Unity. Part 9, how to find the best free Unity. Part 10, how to lock the camera on the x-axis. We're using Cinemachine, so the camera follows the player. Nice, but this game is vertical, so the camera should only follow the player vertically. For that, we need a script, right? Unity. Part 11, procedural platforming. Step 1, make a prefab. What's a prefab? It's a game object saved in your files. You can instantiate, which means make, from a script. How do you make a prefab? Create a folder, prefabs, drag and drop your Unity for beginners. Part 1. Download Unity. Create a project. Pick 3D. You might be thinking, what is this? You can also change it here. But wait, this movement is bad. Why? It isn't smooth. Let's make it smooth. With math, create a float. Move X. We'll use that for horizontal movement. Now an update. Make move X. Gradually move towards the desired move speed. At a rate we'll call acceleration. Let's go with 50. Replace it in fixed update. Go back to Unity. Press play. Now the movement is smooth. But wait, it can be even a folder, right click, create folder, call it scripts. In that folder, create a script, right click, create C# script, call it player, open it, coding time. Oh no, I don't know how to code. Don't worry, even if you don't understand any of this, you're still getting acquainted, which is good. So what is all this? Our player script, which is a component with some built-in functions like start and update, delete them. We don't need them. Now what? Movement. Let's check every frame. If the player wants to move, create an integer, move direction. With this code, it should be -1 for moving left and +1 for moving right. Let's test it. With debug.log, go back to Unity, drag and drop the player script onto the sphere, press play. See this? When I press left, it says -1, and when I press right, it says +1. Perfect. Now let's make the player actually move. Go back to your script. We need our rigid body, so get it. Now in fixed update, set rigid body velocity X to the input direction. Let's test it. It works, but it's slow. So create a public field, move speed. Let's go with 7. Multiply the velocity by the move speed. That's better. Since move speed is public, you can also change it here. But wait, this movement is bad. Why? It isn't smooth. Let's make it smooth. With math, create a float, move X. We'll use that for horizontal movement. Now in update, make move X gradually move towards the desired move speed at a rate we'll call acceleration. Let's go with 50. Replace it in fixed update. Go back to Unity, press play. Now the movement is smooth. But wait, it can be even better. Let's make it slow down twice as fast as it speeds up, like this. Now that's professional. You can turn down the acceleration to make it more obvious. We're done. If you don't understand this code, that's okay. Just try changing it and see what happens. Try to have fun with it. In part 3, we'll do some graphic stuff. Unity. Part 3. Graphics. No code this time, just lots of menus. Also, it's optional. Ready? Step 1. Color space. Open Unity. Go to Edit. Project Settings. Layer. Other Settings. Color space. Linear. What did that do? I'll show you. Gamma. Linear. Gamma. Linear. Gamma. Linear. Got it? Good. Step 2. Camera. Select it. Change projection to orthographic. Now it looks 2D. But wait. Why have a 3D game that looks 2D? I have some plans. Change clear flags to solid color. Change background to black. Step 3. Lighting. Select your directional light, which is like the sun. Change its color to white. Now click Window. Rendering. Lighting. Click Environment. Change source to solid color and set that color to gray to add gray light everywhere. Ambience. Step 4. Post-processing. Click Window. Package Manager. In this dropdown, select Unity Registry. Find post-processing. Click Install. Select your camera. Add a component. Post-process layer. Set its layer to transparent effects and anti-aliasing to FXAA to smooth out edges. Now create a game object. Right-click. Create empty. Call it post-processing. Set its layer to transparent effects. Add a component. Post-process volume. Check is global. Click New Profile. Add an override. Color grading. Choose ACES. It makes the colors look cinematic. Add another override. Bloom. Set intensity to 1 and threshold to 1.5. We'll use this later to make things glow. Or if you lower the threshold now, you can make everything glow, like a 2018 Minecraft shader pack. We're done. That was a lot. Yes, these are all optional steps that aren't usually in beginner tutorials. So if you don't care, don't do it. But if you do care, I'd suggest playing around with these options and also checking out LMH Poly. And in part 4, we'll add jumping. Have you heard of my game, by the way? Unity. Part 4. Jumping. But first, let's make this platform 3D. Delete. Right-click. 3D object. Cube. Make sure its position is 0, 0, 0. Now press R. Scale it to these numbers. Platform. Now what? Jumping. Open your script. Layer. Step 1. Are you pressing jump? That's this code. Step 2. Actually jumping. Create a function. Jump. That sets upward velocity to a float called jump speed. Let's go with 10. Go back to Unity. Press play. It works. I can jump. Actually, I can fly. But wait. Why can I fly? Because we didn't check if we're on the ground. We need a ground check. Let's implement it. Step
for building 2D and 3D experiences, made famous for democratizing the immense challenge of game development. It was created in Copenhagen, Denmark, and first released in 2005. Today,
Bro, what?
I'm making a horror game, but in 15 seconds. So first, I made a scene. Then, I added a hallway. But most importantly, I added a beam. Now we have the basics down, but there's still a bunch to add. So stick around for part 2. I'm making a horror game, but in 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah, that was not 15 seconds.
Today I thought I'd do a full tutorial crash course on how to make a simple platformer from start to finish to show the type of content that's going to be on the new tutorial channel when we hit 1,000 subs. So stay tuned.
So, you want to make a game. You got a perfect dream game idea with everything already planned in your head, but you don't know how to code, let alone how to make a game? Well, you have come to the right place. I am going to share with you a few tips and tricks to help you get started on your very own dream game. You ready? Alright, here we go. Tip number 1. Don't. Okay, alright, well, what I mean by that is, you can't just run straight to the final boss right away, you know? You gotta play the tutorial first.
So that's clickbait. Damn.
Get the title right. I'm going to be Hey guys, and welcome back.
You might learn something. Even if you're good with Unity. Hey guys, Blakey here and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple 2D platformer from start to finish. Everything that we cover in today's video is presented nicely in the comments, so feel free to skip ahead to where you need. And if you like, please do subscribe to get weekly videos just like this one on a whole separate channel that is going to be way more in depth and give you way more explanations. And for those of you who prefer my other type of videos, don't you worry, they are going to be staying on this channel. I just thought I would just chuck a nice little crash course out for those of you who want weekly videos just like this one on a whole separate channel that is going to be way more in depth and give you way more explanations. And for those of you who prefer my teaching you how to make a simple 2D platformer from start to finish. Everything that we cover in today's video is presented nicely in the comments, so feel free to skip ahead to where you need. And if you like, please do subscribe to get weekly videos just like this one on a whole separate channel that is going to be way more. Today I thought I'd do a full tutorial crash course on how to make a. Feel free to skip ahead to where you need. And if you like, please do subscribe to get weekly videos just like this one on a whole separate channel that is going to be way more in depth and give you way more explanations. And for those of you who prefer my other type of videos, don't you worry, they are going to be staying on this channel. I just thought I would just chuck a nice little crash course out for those of you who want to see the type of content on the new channel. Right, so the first thing we are going to go and do is we are going to head up to this little new tab in the top right in the Unity hub, and we're just going to go ahead and start a new project. So we're going to go to 2D and we're just going to call this
tutorial sucks. Or like it's not even really a tutorial. And I'm just gonna do it this guy's
2D platformer and just hit create. So as this video is a bit of a crash course, I can't be showing every single thing in complete crazy detail, so I am going to brush over some things. But what we are going to start with is just a very simple sort of layout description of each different part of the Unity editor. So I am using 2020.2 to make this as compatible for as many people as possible. That's why I didn't want to use the most recent version. So let's go ahead and get started. So here in the middle we've got the scene view. So this is where essentially you can visualize everything that you're doing in your scene. You'll see your game objects, you'll see your floors, your players, etc, etc. And then onto the left here, obviously this might look a little bit different for you depending on what layout you're using, but for me you can see the name of each different tab right here at the top. So here on the left we've got a hierarchy. This is where you'll see all your game objects in a list view. So obviously at the moment the only thing we have is what comes by default, and that is our main camera. So you can just click on it and then you can see where it is in the scene, and this takes us over to our inspector. So whatever you're selected in your hierarchy, all the details about that object will come and show up in the inspector here, and we can change everything about that. So for example, we can change the background. We can change this to an absolute beaming red. I wouldn't recommend this. Players don't want to see this. That it looks like pain. So we're going to put this back down to, you know, just a nice little blue. Nice little.
If you want to make a video game but don't know where to start, this video should help point you in the right direction. Making games is a complicated subject, but let's try and break it down. When the big studios create games, they do so in large teams. It as a starting point. It's known for powering some really heavy games like Unreal Tournament, Gears of War. You can make your first game in Unity. The videos aim to teach a bit about everything. In this video we'll have a look at making our camera follow the movement of our player. Not really much to say about that, let's just jump into it. So as with everything else in game development, making the camera follow the player can... Look who's joining in. So here's the last video in the How to Make a Video Game series. Today we're going to be finishing our game by creating a credit screen, a welcome menu, and making everything ready for the export phase. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is delete our level 2 that we created in a previous video. And the reason for this is that we need to optimize the way that we create levels. I see a lot of beginners simply duplicating their first level, making a few changes, and then repeating that process until they have enough levels. And that of course makes sense, and it's also what we're going to be doing, but unless you think a bit about optimizing the process, it makes it very difficult to go back and change settings. Say if we wanted to change some settings on the player, we would have to do that on all the levels. That is one of the reasons why we use prefabs. So we can just take our player along with our game manager, drag it down here, our main camera, our endpoint, and our canvas, and turn all of that into a prefab. And I think these are all of the objects that we are realistically going to be changing, but you could go...
8 years ago. Well, this was 8 years ago, then how is it gonna work still?
Nodes and change all of the objects to prefabs. This way we can, and the second one to brackeys. It appears. So let's select that, and now every time we click this button, this quit button, everything inside of these two curly brackets will happen. And we only...
Yo, alright chat, I gotta go in the stream now because I gotta go eat lunch, but I'll be back later and probably follow that tutorial, but yeah. Also make sure to download Swingy Pigeon on itch.io. Yeah, bye.